Good morning, what's going on, everyone? Been a minute since I've been on here, but I thought I'd come in this morning and I keep getting emails about Prime Inc. I don't work there no more. I'm wearing their jacket, if that counts for anything. But I don't work there no more, but I keep getting asked a lot of questions about them, so I got my little handy dandy paper here. I'm gonna go over the questions that I get asked about Prime. Prime's not for everybody, but Prime is a good company, and for me, they were good to me. I don't have no problem with Prime. I made money with Prime, and so as far as me giving my opinion on Prime, it worked for me. It may not work for you, and it may not work for everybody, but it worked for me. That's just where it's at for me right there. I mean, I enjoy being home, and I enjoy what I'm doing now. But as far as was Prime a good fit, or I get asked that all the time, is Prime a good fit or whatever? It just depends on the person. For me, it was a good fit, and for several others, it's a good fit. But it may not be a good fit for you. So, some of the questions I get asked is, I'm going to try to rush through this so I don't make this video for 20 minutes long, How is Prime training as far as coming in as a student? Everything I'm going to tell you is my opinion, and it's facts, some of it's facts, but then, like me talking about the training is my opinion. I think Prime has the best training program in the industry right now, as far as facilities for the new people coming in, the equipment that people get to train on. You've got brand new trucks. As far as trainers go, Prime's no different than any other company with trainers. You've got good trainers and you've got bad trainers. Not every individual is going to mix well together. And so, just as I just told a guy this yesterday, just as your trainer interviews you, you need to interview your trainer as well. Because it's a lot easier to make a decision while you're still at the terminal, whether you think, because once you meet somebody, you kind of know, hey, we're either going to be able to get along pretty decent or we're not. You know what I'm saying? Personality-wise, and it may not be what it's going to be like out on the road, but you're going to figure out pretty quick, like, hey, we're either going to be able to make it together or we're not. Things may change on the road, but right off the bat, interview your trainer on some of the questions. Have a list of questions that you want to ask him or her about, the way that they train and the way that they do things. And if you don't feel that the answer is sufficient enough for you, say something to Prime. Say, hey, listen, I don't think this is going to be a match or whatever. One of the common things that I've seen over the years is you'll get into a truck with somebody who smokes if you don't smoke. It never works generally, because if you don't smoke and they smoke, or it could be vice versa. I mean, because you could have to just get out of their truck and smoke. But if you get on somebody's truck and you don't smoke but they smoke, it's going to be a pain in the butt from there on out. And I say that because it is. They're going to be smoking in the truck while they're driving because it's their truck, and you don't smoke. And if that bothers you, don't even put yourself in a situation like that, because they do have non-smoking trainers. You may have to sit a while and wait, but, if you're not willing to deal with that, then that's what you got to do. But as far as the training program goes, they've invested a lot of money in the training facility over there, the training pad, to make sure that you have the equipment and stuff that you need in order to train. So, in my opinion, I think they've got the best training program. The second question is, should I go lease or company? I get that a lot. That's a personal choice. I think some people right out of training can go into lease and have it figured out. If their trainer was a lease operator and kind of showed them, a little bit about it and give them the gist of it, they can go right into lease. They've got the common sense to. Some people, on the other hand, they don't have the smarts upstairs. They can't go right into lease. Or they just don't understand it. Not that they're dumb or anything, but they may not just understand it. I will tell you this. A lot of people make the leasing program too complicated, and it's not complicated. Let the people in the office do what they do, and you do what you do driving the truck. You've got fixed costs, which are the same every week, other than your fuel. But your truck payment and your fixed costs are the same every week. Your fuel is going to vary from week to week. But other than that, you know what it is that you need to make. So you have to run enough and work. That's the key word right there. You got to work enough to where you can pay your fixed cost and then your fuel and still make money also. So for example, if your fixed cost is $1,000 and that's truck payment, insurances, APU, blah 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 blah, everything, and you burn another $1,000 in fuel, then obviously you've got $2,000 for the $2,000 for the week. So you need to make enough $2,000 at least to cover everything there. Everything after that is your profit that you make. That sounds like a lot of money, but I promise you, when you're running, a solo driver can do $4,000 to $5,500 a week, in revenue. And so, if you take $2,000 out of that, you still bring home a pretty decent check. But you got to work. If you don't work and you don't want to get up off your dead ass and do anything, you're not going to make any money. And it's not. And here's the thing. And then you're going to want to get on the internet and talk bad about Prime when it wasn't Prime. It was you in the first place. You didn't want to get up and go to work. Just saying. You got to get up and go to work. If you work, you'll make money. If you don't, there are times that you don't make money, as far as like, if your truck goes in the shop or something. I mean, you could not make money there or whatever. But yeah, you can make money. Lease or company, again, that's a personal choice. What should I bring to training? Remember, when you pack at the house, you're going to be on somebody else's truck, so you're going to have a top bunk, and the way I did, I gave them a top bunk and then one cabinet. So everything else is going to be either at your head or your feet. So just remember, when you're packing, don't pack the whole house. And I've seen people with skateboards and they want to bring this and that, and they got 5 bags. Where are we going to put everything? We both got to live in this truck, So I'd be mindful when you're packing enough clothes. Trucking Through Life, Chuck has a video that he did when he came to Prime about that. It's a good video on what to pack and stuff like that. So you'll check out that video he put on there. Can I make money at Prime? It goes back to, like I was saying a little bit ago. Yeah, you can make money at Prime. You get 72% of the load, and then fuel surcharge. So, yeah, you can make money at Prime. The thing is, you've got to work, just like I was saying earlier. And you need to be mindful about some things. Not every load is going to be the greatest paying load that they have. But sometimes you don't know what they're looking at in the office there. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. If you go into an area with a good load, it may be to an area that's doesn't have the highest paying freight. But you took a good load in, and you're going to get something to get out of there to get a better load, if that makes sense. perfect example. It'll pay good going into the Northeast generally, and then coming out of the Northeast, you might take it in the shorts a little bit. California, it's going to pay good. It's not going to pay as much going into Cali, but it's going to pay coming out with produce or whatever you get out of there. So it's kind of opposite, But yes, you can make money with prime. You just got to watch your expenses if you're lease. Watch your fuel. Your fuel's your biggest cost. If you can maintain your fuel, your fixed costs are the same. Maintain your fuel, and you maintain your fuel by the speed that you drive. So, if you're not one of the people that has to mash the motor all the time and can maintain your fuel, obviously your profit's going to be a little bit more than somebody that mashes the motor all the time and, isn't getting quite the fuel mileage you are. If you're on the company side, I don't know much about the company side, but you're paid by the mile. Just keep the wheels turning. You can't sit at the truck stop all day and expect to draw a check. So there you go. Who can I use for a referral? I'm not there anymore. Bags isn't there anymore. There's a lot of people that aren't there anymore. You can use Mike and Dannie. Danny's driver code is CHAPDC. CHAPDC. Or Mike's is BAKMAN. So again, Danny's is CHAPDC, and Mike's is BAKMAN. Put them down as a referral. If you're going to Prime, put somebody down as a referral. It just helps the person out, There's no reason to not put nobody down. If you've watched any videos or anything like that, and you've got something, put somebody down as a referral. It helps the drivers out, and you would want somebody to do the same thing for you in return. So take a minute and put somebody down as a referral. That's some of the questions. The other question I have is, how's the trucks? The trucks are amazing. They got freight. I say we, like I'm still there or something. They have Freightliners, Peterbilts, and Internationals. They're all good for their own purpose. To me, I like the Freightliner because of the motor in them. They don't ride the best, but the motor in them is phenomenal. And I've had good success with not having to pay a bunch of breakdown costs and everything like that. Some people love the Peterbilt. Nothing wrong with Peterbilt. Peterbilts are great trucks as well. The interiors of them nice. They ride nice. They have the PACCAR motor. Several individuals that I know that have them right now are having good success with them. It's hit and miss with them, and it's hit and miss with any truck. But I always had good success with Freightliner, and so I would probably stick with a Freightliner if it were me going to get another truck. The Internationals, the only experience I know about them are, for those of you that watch my channel, my old student Jason had an International there for a little while, and he wasn't very thrilled with it. Actually, he made some videos on it, I believe, Rolling for Time. You can go check out some of his videos on the International that he did back way when he had it. He ended up leasing a Freightliner because he ordered a truck. But from what I understand, they don't have a lot of room in them, and if I'm off beat on that, somebody leave me a comment below on the Internationals or whatever, or your opinion on them, or let other people know your opinion on it. That way they can kind of get a feel for the International. I don't know a lot about them, so I can't really speak on them too much. That's all I know is what I was told. Other than that, listen, all in all, if you're looking for a company, Prime is a good company. So do your research on different companies. There's several out there, obviously, and make sure if it's a fit for you. Talk to a recruiter over there and find out if hey, you know, this is going to work for me or it's not going to work for me. If you're, I'll tell you this right now, if you're wanting to be home every weekend or whatever, then Prime's probably obviously not going to be a fit for you. But if you don't mind staying out on the road and doing what you got to do, you'll make some money. And, you know, it all depends on the person. But I will say do your research before you go anywhere, you know, to make sure that it may not be a fit for you right now, but later on down the road could be a good fit for you. So, you know, there you go, you have it. Anyway, guys, listen, I appreciate you guys watching again. Sorry it takes me so long to make videos. You know, I'm driving local now, so I really don't have a lot of stuff to put out. But I still get emails on all this stuff all the time. I will put Mike and Danny's driver code in the description of the video. So if you're interested in going to Prime or you're thinking about going to Prime, use their driver code. It'll help them out. Anyway, guys, listen, have a good one. We'll see you next time. If you're trucking, be safe out there.